is in the alley. And now here's Devin Haney and Salina Liberty head coach, IFL Hall of Famer, Ron O'Neill.
Thank you very much, Chris Cato. Welcome into AJ's Sports Grill and Pizzeria in the alley, downtown Salina, the spot where we do the Coach O Show every single Monday, other than times where it just doesn't work out. Been pretty consistent, though, here lately. We've been doing a good job with this.
Definitely.
Coach O Show is brought to you by Brooks Liquor and also the Salina Pain Clinic. And, boy, a lot to talk about. You had a big game against Omaha on Saturday, a lot to unpack on that game. But before we get to that, how was your weekend?
It was great. My wife came up on Thursday, so I was very excited about that. I just finished dropping her back off in Wichita, so it was good to have her come down and spend some time with me. Just to hang out and just relax a little bit. So that was a very good calming agent. Very much enjoyed that.
Very good. A busy weekend for you. Also, probably just working players. I mean, this is something that we'll talk about when we get into the injury bug, I think, has officially bitten the Salina Liberty. And really the first time since you've been here that you've had to go through this type of injuries. I mean, it dated back to last week to the Billings game and then kind of parlayed itself into this Omaha game. And a lot of injuries, more than what we're used to seeing with this squad.
Well, yeah, it's very similar to last year. I mean, we lost Fast Ed for 2 or 3 games. We also lost Tracy for huge amounts of time last year, and we had a couple other injuries back there as well. So it reminds me of last year, but it's an opportunity for these other guys to step up and have their chance to do what they can do. We'll probably be bringing in some ball players moving forward here. We've been on the phone, Coach Martinez and I, been on the phone a lot trying to get ball players to get up here. So I'm definitely thinking we'll have some players here in the next 48 hours that can fill the void and push the guys and put us in the right position that we can consistently run the plays that we need to run and run them the way we ask them to run it.
You and I have talked a lot about spring football, the XFL, the USFL. It just got started this past weekend. Still have the Canadian Football League. You have the IFL. There are more opportunities now than ever for these guys to kind of pick and choose where they want to go. Given your track record, though, and hearing what you're saying, if I'm one of those guys that's at home right now and I don't have a job, I'm sitting on the table, I'm standing up, I'm saying, hey, pick me, because I know what you do with the guys going to the next level.
Absolutely, and the thing that's helped us out is just being in it. This is my 18th year being in it. I have, a big Rolodex full of agents and scouting people that helps me out with getting ball players. So we'll be fine. I'm not going to make any excuses of, why we're winning and losing ball games. I put that solely on my shoulders. I have to do a better job of coaching who we have at that moment and putting them in better positions to make more plays that's conducive with winning.
Let's dig into this game a little bit here. Before we do, I just kind of want your umbrella statement on the game that happened with Omaha on Saturday. This was a game we came in, and you've told me repeatedly it's one game on the schedule going through this process. They come in undefeated. They're 4-0. You were 4-1, one more game in the books than what Omaha's had at this point. What's your general kind of thoughts on this game after you had a chance to look back on it?
Just looking through the film. I mean, we're close in certain areas, and certain areas we're not. There was some glaring holes that we found on them, just like they found on us. So our job as coaches is to mask those things that was exposed in this game by bringing in better personnel at those positions. So that's the only way I know how to do it. I know my scheme and philosophy has worked for 18 years. I don't think it's magically broken. So we just got to get better players to do what we ask of them to do and to do with the technique in which we teach them, and to do it more consistently is what we're looking for. So it's not like out with the old, in with the new, but somewhat like that. I mean, because we're done playing games. I'm tired of hearing excuses. I want to see football is a result-based deal. It's either you got it done or you didn't. We didn't get it done on Saturday. We laid an egg, especially offensively. Defense, again, for the third game in a row, has played well enough for us to win the ball game, and we didn't take heed to that. I think we were 1 of 6 on fourth down. We missed 2 extra points that came back in the end, and it really bit us. We didn't kick off the ball well. So there's a lot of things that we're going to have to address and get better at and moving forward. But I'm up for the challenge. Like I said, it's only, 5 or 6 games in. We still got 5 or 6 more, so regular season games. That's why I didn't put as much weight on it, because it's still too early in the season to know exactly what's going to happen. Injuries occur, players move up, things happen. So our job is control what we can control, which is the ball players that are here coach them up, put them in better positions to make more football plays.
We have a big show coming up for you. Not only do we have Coach O for the first 30 minutes, also Kelvin McCoy will join us. That's coming up in segment 2, and then we'll have a member of the Liberty ownership group join us and give us an update on what's going on. Had a lot of great things at this last home game, a lot of great things coming up for the next home game, which is this Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center. So you start off in this game, Coach, and they have the football. Omaha starts out with the football, and kind of a short field for them. They get a nice return to start the game. They get into the end zone right away. But you were able to answer, and this is one of the greatest plays that I've seen in a while, because Tracy Brooks is back to receive the kick, and it was a really good kick that used the length of the field, and he kind of lost it underneath the pads, I think, there for a minute. I saw one of the sponsor banners kind of flare out and hide the football, and Tracy's looking, then finally he picks it up. Once he picked it up, that's really all he needed to do. He got out of the end zone, and I thought your blockers held their blocks good enough for him. Really all he needed to do was use the lanes that were given to him that they'd already been overrun because of the delay, and he just took it to the other end. Talk about that kick return to open the game.
Well, it was huge. It was something that we talked over with Coach Spiller, that we need to get better at that, and that's the second kick return to the house. So he put a great plan together to make that play happen. The only thing we got to work on with Tracy is don't celebrate too early, because if it wasn't for Treven Slayton, he would have got hawked down showboating, and it showed. But thank you, Treven, for doing what you needed to do there and make Tracy look good, because Tracy makes people look good all the time. So it's finally cool to see somebody else make him look good as well.
Absolutely. Those two plays will spark off a huge first quarter of scoring where we saw a lot of offense, didn't see a lot of defense. 40 total points scored in this first quarter. We're at the end of one. It's 27-13. What are the thoughts going through your and your coaching staff's minds? Because, I mean, the wick is lit on this thing. I think coming in, I thought, and my broadcast team thought, maybe this would be kind of one of those low-scoring games that you and Omaha have really kind of had a reputation in playing. But here we are with 40 points at the end of the first quarter.
Well, yeah, I knew it was going to be some fireworks out there. Just with what they have offensively, that quarterback, Armstrong, he's probably the best quarterback in this league. That offensive line is probably the biggest, most physicalist offensive line that we faced this year, besides Sioux City's, as well as Billings' offensive line. So I knew they had weaponry. And then what they had back there running that football as well is a veteran. I can't think of his name right now.
Jeff Mack.
Yeah, Mack, and he's a guy that runs very, very hard. And he had, 20 carries, 90 yards, and 1 touchdown. He controlled the game. So I knew they were going to put some points up. I just thought we would put up more. For the second game in a row, we're not executing the way we need to. We're not seeing what we need to see, and we're not playing Liberty football. We're not playing smart with the football. We had 2 interceptions there. We can't have that. And we need to be better on fourth down. We can't be 1 for 6 and think we're going to beat anybody. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of recruiting to do. We have a lot of teaching to do, taking it back to the basics and making people understand what made us who we are. And I think sometimes that's forgotten. You think you just show up and just play football. When you're the champ, everybody's going to shoot and give you their best game. So it's a different team than what it was last year. That was a veteran team. This team is not as veteran as it was last year. And we got some young guys at young positions that have not played a lot of football, especially at this level. To play against some of these teams that we're going against, they're good football teams. I mean, Billings, Omaha, Sioux City, all these teams, and then Topeka's catching fire now here at the end, picking up Donovan Porter-Reese. So there's a lot of parity in the league. We got to do a better job as far as putting our players in better positions to make plays and putting the players out there that are going to consistently do what we ask them to do.
With you saying that, it's interesting to me because I'm thinking back to last year. We were about halfway through the season, about this same point, and a couple of guys have gotten hurt. Tracy got hurt in the Omaha game last year. Ed got hurt at Sioux City. And we see guys kind of start to fall off a little bit, and you were able to replace those guys. But also, I think people forget because the memory is short, right? You just see the championship game from a year ago. Quarterback spot was a struggle last year. When Tyree got called up to the CFL, you went through several guys there in a short amount of time. Absolutely.
We went through a 4-game stretch where we had probably 3 different quarterbacks play until we were actually 5 different quarterbacks play until we actually settled with what Javin brought us, which is a common agent of just understanding the offense, knowing where to put the ball, just of being a pro about the position, watching the film, understanding the weaknesses in every defense that he's getting ready to face, And right now, we don't have that right now. It's not because of lack of effort. It's not because of lack of talent. It's just we're not consistently putting the football where we need to be putting the football at the quarterback position, so there's no secret there. Anytime you don't have a quarterback throw for over 100 yards, that let you know that we're not doing well in the passing game, and believe me, it will be rectified.
Going into the second quarter, again, 40 points scored in the first quarter of this game. In the second quarter, this game turned more to what I think we kind of expected out of this. You started out on defense in the second quarter, on offense, and you turn it over on downs, give it back to Omaha, but all they are able to get is a field goal and then an interception by the Liberty offense, turn it back to Omaha, and then Tracy Brooks ends up playing defensive back because of injuries. He gets an interception at the goal line, keeping Omaha out of the end zone. And again, we talked to Tracy last week on the show. We talk about him a lot. Tracy Brooks out there doing Tracy Brooks things. He caught that ball, read it perfectly, and was able to get a quality return out of it, setting you up on the offensive end.
Absolutely. I mean, Tracy Brooks, arguably one of the best football players I've ever coached. And like I told his dad when I was hanging out with him, he's the most unselfish superstar I've ever been around. And I've been around some big-time players, Chris Dixon, Robert Reed, James Walton, Mania Smith, Charlie Center. All of those guys are Hall of Famers. Mike Bazemore. I've never seen a guy that whatever you want him to do, he will do. He doesn't care about stats. He just wants to win. So when we told him he had to play corner, he didn't even argue about it. He got out there, he did his job, and he did it well. Another player that I want to give kudos to is D. Wash. D. Wash, he was kicker earlier in the year. He came in and played corner for us and made a couple key tackles and key stops there. So we have the right leaders on this team. We just got to have enough people to understand who the leaders are and follow in their footsteps, so to say. They're getting coached well by the players that have been here before, as well as by our coaching staff. We're not doing a good job of retaining what's being taught.
That interception by Tracy Brooks, able to set up a touchdown. Nick Eilers came in at quarterback for you, and he found Demarius Washington. D-Wash scores from midfield, and a three-point play opportunity there was turned back by Omaha. So we hit halftime 30-19, and I think that second quarter pretty much set the template for the second half, right? Mm-hmm. You guys had made some adjustments on defense, able to keep them out of the end zone. They did not score a touchdown in the second, third, or fourth quarter. All their touchdowns came in the first quarter, and I feel like we were kind of feeling a tempo that was there, but you were still down 11 at halftime. What were your thoughts at the break?
I felt pretty confident with what we were doing. As it showed as the game went on, they scored 3 points in the second quarter, 3 points in the third quarter, 3 points in the fourth quarter, which defensively we knew what we were doing. We made some adjustments. We need to play better there still, because I think we could have tightened the screws a little bit more there. But offensively, we knew what we needed to do to get back in this ball game. We just got to be more consistent with the play, and we always say it's the play within the play. Yes, you know what you need to do, but you have to read and understand what they're giving you, and you got to take advantage of what they're giving you. And we have not done that at the quarterback spot in the last two games, and that's why we struggled offensively.
When we come back, we're set up for our first break here, but when we come back, we'll go through the second half of this game and also look ahead to next week. Another big game coming up at Tony's Pizza Event Center with head coach Ron O'Neill. We're going through the Omaha game from this past Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center. And the Coach O Show is brought to you by St. John's Military Museum and also Comfort Heating and Air. We have the Comfort Heating and Air question of the day coming up. That's a good one as well, as we look forward to that. It's the Coach O Show. We'll step away, come back with more from AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina, coming back after this break on KINA and also SalinaPost.com.
Steve Z's Cars on the west side of Abilene. Yeah, Abilene Car Sales is the place that will save you lots of money.
Warmer weather is here at Abilene Car Sales. Lots of sunshine means it's time to spring into the fun. Abilene Car Sales is ready to help you find that perfect vehicle for summer fun. Add a reliable truck to pull that camper or boat. Perhaps upgrade your current ride to something a little more fuel-friendly. Stop by and save on Northwest 3rd or see our inventory, AbileneCarSales.com, and spring into fun.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians conditions will make sure your system is in tip-top shape. So when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Precision Electrical Contractors, LLC in Salina is now hiring full-time electricians in the central Kansas area. Licensing and experience in the commercial electric field is preferred but not required. Must be a team player, performance-driven, and have job safety as a top priority. Precision Electric's benefit package includes health and life insurance, 401k, paid vacation and holidays. A valid driver's license and pre-employment drug screening is required before employment. Apply on our website at pecsalina.com. Equal opportunity employer.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Duralast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
This ball takes a hop over Tracy Brooks' head, goes into the back of the end zone. This is trouble. Brooks trying to find it. He finally does. Now comes out of there at the 5, 10, 15, 20. Midfield 25. Nobody's going to catch Tracy Brooks as he takes a stall in the end zone. Had trouble finding the football and then turns it around and returns it the other way. 58 yards from the bottom of the wall to the other end and a touchdown for the 2021 MVP in Champions Indoor Football, Tracy Brooks.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Haney and Coach Ron O'Neill.
That was the highlight that we spoke of a little bit ago with Tracy Brooks taking the first scoring opportunity for the Liberty on special teams and taking it down the field. And as you said, Tracy about got caught on that play. I about got caught because I put it away at the 25. I didn't realize he was going to start the celebration on us, but all was good, and he made it in the end zone. So another special teams scoring another touchdown for Tracy Brooks, who continues to lead the league in a lot of different categories. We stopped at the third quarter, and the third quarter, boy, it didn't have much as far as statistics and things going on in it. It seemed to be a lot of injuries. It looked like the trainers were on the field more than anything, and you kind of trade punches back and forth with Omaha a little bit. Omaha does get a field goal on you, and we go 33-19 into the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter was a game that had a lot of adventure and I thought a really gutsy effort by your team. As you talked about, there were times where you had Demarius Washington, who plays wide receiver, in there at corner. You had Tracy Brooks, who plays wide receiver and running back, in at corner. You had Travis Taylor, who leads the league in sacks at defensive end and defensive tackle, playing linebacker. It just seemed like your defense had every excuse in the world not to do their job or excel, but that's not what happened.
No, and the thing that's what I'm the most proud of. It's very easy when you go up against a team and it's, they're bums, they're not very good, and you showboat, you do all that crazy stuff. But to show the true character of a football player is when the chips are against you. How do you respond to that? What is your resolve? What is your character? What is inside of you? And you just named some players that it means something to.
Yeah.
Tracy Brooks, it means something to him. D-Wash, it means something to him. Just Travis, it means something to him, and they're unselfish. They want to do whatever it takes to help this team win. Those are our leaders of our team. You add D-Trey with that. You add McCoy with that. we have what we need leadership-wise. We just need some guys to follow suit and understand that if you when you do things your way, you won't be here long. And I think that's the message that we're going to be on this week. I'm done playing with people. You're going to do what I ask you to do or you won't be here. So that's kind of the motto of what I'm sticking to. That's been me my whole career. And when my gut tells me it's time to make moves, I'm going to make moves.
Understood. And fourth quarter starts, and you get a big play out of one of those guys. Travis Taylor's Omaha was going for a 27-yard field goal. Travis was able to come around one end. I know Shaq Bradford was coming around the other. It was kind of a double-edged sword. The lone protector decided to take Shaq. Travis came in the backside and got a block on that field goal and was able to take it away. And then you went down the field, eventually scored on that. And Demarius Washington, again, a 4-yard touchdown reception for him, his second of the game. You close this up after the extra point kick missed. Still an 8-point game, 33-25. Omaha then comes down and gets a field goal from 28 yards away. They go back up by 11 points. And then you were able to come back down and score again. You get a Mo Strong touchdown reception, make it 36-31 after the 2-point conversion missed. And then an onside kick at the end of the game. I thought there were 2 kicks in this game that you were a sliver away from making big plays. One of them was at the end of the half, where you were almost in a position to have a scoop and score. If you could have just gotten that football out of there or maybe found a guy to pitch to, that would have been a huge play. But this onside kick here, you almost got that on the run and were able to return it as well.
And we missed it, like you said, by a slither. It was a great kick. Jimmy did exactly what we needed him to do. He put the ball in position for our guys to make a play, and we just didn't make it. Hindsight being in 2020, maybe we need to work it a little bit more too.
Yeah.
But, man, you couldn't kick that ball any better than what he did right there. It was perfectly placed, and we just didn't come down with it.
End up taking the loss to Omaha 36-31. They go on now 5-0 on the season. You're still in pretty good spot here, 4-2 on the season. Sioux City did not play, so they stick in at 4-1. Again, another week of action. Your thoughts of looking at the games that did happen in Champions Indoor Football. What are your thoughts?
Well, just looking at that Topeka-Wyoming game, I think Topeka only lost by a point or so, or 2 points there. So definitely can't wait to take a look at that film, see what happened in that ball game. More so just looking at what Southwest Kansas has done in these last 2-3 weeks with their quarterback situation that they brought in. He's playing, I think he threw for 5 touchdowns there, only 1 interception, and then with that defense, anytime you can hold anybody to 6 points, I don't care who you are, that's impressive. That is definitely put me on high alert that defense that they have is real deal. 2 great coaches down there. They both I coach Marquise, he's the defensive coordinator, and then Vincent, I was on the staff. Ponder was the head coach there, so definitely know those 2 guys, 2 younger guys that's doing their thing and making a mark in this league. So it's going to be a very interesting close to this season, these next 5 to 6 games before the playoffs start. Like I always say, the first thing we want to do is try to get the first overall seed, get into the playoffs, because you can't win a championship unless you win the playoffs. Yeah. So we got to do step by step, but way too early to start talking about all that stuff. But it's a lot of good football teams out there, a lot of good football players out here, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of this champion indoor football season.
You and I talked in pregame before the game on Saturday when we were doing our setup for KINA, and we talked about how close this league is. It's from top to bottom. There's no off weeks. From Topeka to Southwest Kansas Storm, whoever it may be, Rapid City. Anytime you're going to go out on the field with a CIF team this year, from top to bottom, it's probably as good as what it's ever been.
Yeah, I don't remember being in a league like this where anybody can get beat by anybody. It's my 18th year of doing it. I don't remember seeing this much parity in a long time, at least a decade ago, before I could say something similar to it. And it's a testament to what's going on in the leagues that's higher than us.
Yeah.
Just looking at what the NFL, CFL, XFL, USFL have done, especially those last 2, they are drawing players that we would usually get. Now they're in those last 2 leagues right now. So it's different. This year has been very emotionally difficult for me with a lot of things that's going on, just football-wise. It's nothing to do with my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife are great. Family's doing good. It's just the football has not been fun this year. It hasn't. And this is the first time in my 18 years that it hasn't been fun. So we got to figure out some things to make that better. But we just got to, how can you say, you got to keep plugging away. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You got to just keep plugging and doing the things you need to do to make this thing work.
I still get a lot of questions, and I think it's just because of the lack of consistency and transparency from the league from year to year on what exactly is the playoff format. People look at the standings right now. They see us in fourth, just, kind of by a half a game there with Sioux City. What is the playoff format? From what I understand, it's the top 6, the top 2 get a bye, right?
Yes, that's the way I understand it until someone tells me different. But we know how this goes. I mean, it could change as the wind blows. So the key thing that we're trying to do is stay within that top 4, and that should get you for sure a playoff spot. So I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not trying to be 6th or 5th or whatever. I'm trying to stay in the top 4 and let the chips fall as they may from there.
Get more games at that Tony's Pizza Event Center. The crowd was great again on Saturday, weren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, it was the biggest crowd that I've ever seen there. I mean, including championship games. I mean, it was very, very pleasing to see that now the word is starting to get out.
Yeah.
We do have a very good product on the field. Our owners behind the scenes are doing all the things that they need to do to keep this team here. Our sponsors are the best that it's ever been. So I think we're definitely on the right track. We just got to keep pushing forward to another influx of about 1,500 people would definitely make a difference, especially when it comes down to making noise there on defense.
And, the weatherman's helping us out, I think, too, because the first home game, it was beautiful. It was 75. It was hard to go inside that day. Mm-hmm. But this past Saturday, and it looks like this coming Saturday, things aren't great outside. It's 50, chance for rain. It's going to be windy. It's a great day for indoor football, isn't it?
I love it. And I knew that was going to play a part right there, and I seen it. And when I start, because I always wait until we get ready to do the coin toss, and then I'll look up and I always tell Coach, I say, hey, that's a pretty good crowd right here. And then as they kept coming in and kept coming in and kept coming in, I was like, this got to be the biggest. So I can't wait till they get the numbers from Tony's Pizza Event Center just to see what that number was, because I want to know. I mean, I'm very interested to see what that number is, because that was the most I've ever seen there.
And the last 2 games here at home, they've been treated to a great game, too. Coming down to the last possession, the last kick, in a split 1-1 for the Salina Liberty. So now you're looking at 4-2, and you've talked a little bit about Dodge City, the Southwest Kansas Storm. I won't ask you about the team again, but this has to have a special place in your head, too. We talked about Billings. You also spent some time in Dodge City back when it was the Law. Before it was the Southwest Kansas Storm. Our player guest tonight also did, too, Kelvin McCoy. You have a handful of guys that kind of came with you from the Western Kansas. You have any thoughts of just kind of looking back to those days and kind of the time you spent there with the Law?
Well, for me, it was therapy, because I needed it. I took on a lot in Colorado for my love for my owner, Tom Wigley, that got sick, and he asked me to help him, and I did a pretty good job, but it was just I was doing way too much.
Yeah.
And the football suffered. That's what happened there. But going to Dodge, I say it was therapeutic because I got a chance to step back and just be an assistant and basically fall back in love with football again. And I met basically a core of guys that have went on to win championships in this league. Big Mac was down there with me, and so was Travis. So those are the last 2 left that came with me there, and knowing that, McCoy, this is probably his last year. So I definitely want to send him out on top, just like we did K-Hop, and make sure that he's treated like the champion that he is.
You mentioned K-Hop, Kendrick Harper, former Kansas Jayhawk, an indoor football legend. I mean, when you look at the work he did with Wichita, we were fortunate enough to have him in Salina for a couple of years, got him another ring. He was in the building Saturday. It was good to see him. He was just inducted to the Kansas Indoor Football Hall of Fame. It's always good to see his smiling face on Saturday, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, he's just a first-class person. Everything about him exudes excellence. I mean, on and off the field, one of the most professional, well-prepared player that I've ever been around. You don't really have to tell him anything at all. He knows what he messed up on. He'll self-correct it, and he'll hold himself accountable. And that's the thing that, with him being in the Hall of Fame, I mean, that was huge to see that. I saw that on Facebook as well. It couldn't happen to a better person.
Absolutely, and just his preparation on game day. I could show up to the arena if there were things going on. I would show up at noon. He was out there running and stretching at noon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was just one of those things. You always had him prepared, and he was always ready to go. Our Comfort Heating and Air question of the day is a guy, I don't know about the question, I know about the name. You're going to love this name. It's from one of the guys here in the building. Came up to me and he said, I want to ask Coach O this question. His name is Parker Stone.
Okay. Parker Stone.
Parker wants to know something that we never hear of in the CIF is a trade. Does such a thing exist where you can trade player for player, player for considerations? We don't hear about that much on the transaction wire. How does a trade work?
Well, basically it comes down to your relationship with the different coaches in the league, because that's how it starts. If you're not talking with the different coaches in the league, a trade will never happen. Also, with these trades, everybody wants to win the trade. So that's what we've had many different trade opportunities, but if it's not going to be a win for the Salina Liberty, I'm not interested in it. So, and most coaches are the same way. It's got to be something that interests them as well. So that's why you don't see it as much as you see it in the NFL and other leagues like that. But at this level, there are some, but it hasn't been many at all, basically, especially since the season has started.
That was the Comfort Heating Air question of the day for Parker Stone. We got Parker hooked up with a pair of tickets for the next game this Saturday, coming up against the Southwest Kansas Storm at Tony's Pizza Event Center. Got a busy week ahead of you. I will talk to you on Saturday when we get ready to do pregame for KINA and the game at Tony's Pizza Event Center.
All right. Thanks again for having me.
Head coach Ron O'Neill, first ballot Hall of Famer. When we come back, we will be joined with Kelvin McCoy. We'll talk about a lot of things not football with Kelvin coming up. That is right around the corner. And then our third segment, we'll have Dan Mendocino from the ownership group updating us on some things going on in the game that sometimes we don't see at halftime, at breaks and things like that. We'll go through that with Dan coming up in the third segment. It's the Coach O Show. We'll be back with more after this.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
There's no better feeling than leaving the stadium with a win, unless you're leaving the car lot with a great deal. That's how it feels to buy a vehicle from SalinaUsedCars.com. Dozens of late model vehicles have been fully inspected and are backed by warranty. We accept cash or have financing for all credit levels. Whether you need a car, truck, SUV, crossover, or van, SalinaUsedCars.com has them all. Get the winning feeling of a great deal at one of our 2 locations or shop 24/7 at SalinaUsedCars.com.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, located on the northeast corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community. Visit us at sjmshm.org. Find us on Facebook or call the office today at 785-404-2333 for more information or to book an appointment.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Are you looking for more than a job? Searching for a company that cares about its employees and rewards them for hard work? Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical is growing and looking for great people who want to work in plumbing and HVAC. With attractive benefits and competitive pay, the goal is to help you make a career out of what you do and love going to work. For more information, visit the website, streetthe.com. Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical, serving Central Kansas. An equal opportunity employer.
Two receivers on the right-hand side. Fake pitch out. Johnson wants to go to the end zone and has a guy wide open. And thank goodness that one was caught. Anthony Love in the end zone, unattended. There was nobody with him, and he catches it for 6 from 25 yards away. Javante Johnson on the touchdown strike.
And now back to the Coach O Show at AJ's in the Alley. Here's Devin Haney.
Back here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. We do this every Monday, and we always invite you to come take part of the Coach O Show with us. Got this. This is $100, basically what it is from the Alley. It's all kinds of stuff. It's a family value certificate, and you can do all kinds of things with it. We give away 4 of these every single week here at AJ's in the Alley, along with tickets to the next home game, which happens to be this Saturday, where you can see this guy, my man Kelvin McCoy, in action. Center, anchor of the offensive line. How are things so far?
Oh, man, things are great, just trying to keep up the rhythm of everything, making sure that we stay together and keep our things right.
I want to talk about your apparel because Saturday I saw Coach O wearing one of these shirts. You got a shirt on today. Let's rewind all the way back through Salina indoor football history to a wide receiver named Pelton Smalls. And Pelton was going to give it a go, had an unfortunate injury last year that put him on the shelf, but he has channeled his energies in a different direction, and it's this.
Yes, sir. This is Brazil. It's by my boy Pelton Smalls. He's an athletic trainer. He can train you here in town, here in Salina. He's local. He does it all, man. So just connect with him. If you don't want to do the training, come get some gear. He have athletic wear and just regular sweatsuits and all.
Pelton's a great guy. Wish we would have had him work out on the team and not get that injury, man, because he is one of those big physical wide receivers that would have fit right in with Coach O'Neill, right? Team so far 4-2, about halfway through. Just coming off of a loss, so it's not all unicorns and rainbows right now. How are things going with you? You anchor that offense, and you were one of the mainstays on the offensive line. You've had some moving parts around you and Tapa here lately. What's going through your head with the offense so far?
Man, my job right now, man, is just to try to keep us together. I do my best to try to make sure that I continue to anchor the offense, continue to anchor the offensive line, make sure we stay with high energy, and we try to execute at our best.
You have also been called upon because of injury, and it seems like the injury rash has broke out a little bit with this team, playing some defensive tackle from time to time.
Man,
it's kind of be ready because you might be called on whenever, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It'd be shocking to me every time I get called out. I'll be like, oh, yeah? Oh, man, I get to do that. I'll be excited. So, I love it. I coach D-line.
Yeah.
So I just try to go out there and do what I coach, and it works out.
You gave me a segue into my next bank of questions for you. You have been helping out, and you have made your way onto the coaching staff here in town for the Mustangs of Salina Central. Coaching high school football, a team that has so much history in the state of Kansas, a bank of state titles with the Mustangs, always looking to get more. How's that going for you, wearing the maroon and white on the Friday nights?
Man, it was exciting, man. To come out here and experience Kansas football at first at hand under the lights, it's exciting. It's a different culture. Coach Sambo has a great culture going there at Central, and I just love it. I'm just glad to be a part of it, man. It's exciting to see the kids go out there and fight. This year we happened to win league champs again. Took a while between the years, so it was good to be around to see that accomplished, bring home the Mayor Cup as well.
How gratifying is it for you to see these young men come in and maybe not know certain things and just kind of being ignorant about a position, but you have so many skills, and you mentioned working with the line, your experience on the offensive line and things you can teach them.
Oh, man, it's just so easy, man. I try to tap into what the kids love and what they're here for and what they want out of it.
Yeah.
And then I try to strike on those qualities in those players. And find that and let that be their drive to want to be more, want to be great. I use my experience on the O-line to help me coach on the defensive line to figure out how I would like myself to be beat in a sense. And also I do a lot of studying. I watch a lot of coaches' podcasts. I see a lot of practices, and it just works out for me.
So where are you at as far as Friday night football? Where did you come from, your Friday night experience playing high school football, compared to how it is here in Kansas?
Oh, man. It's a little different. My experience was a little different because I come from the city. There's a lot of high schools surrounding, so we get like half of what the town, our city, really has to offer. But being out here, knowing that this is the game that's going on in town Friday night, man, the crowd is electrifying.
It is.
Oh man, I love it. You have the video board showing the video, the height. Oh man, it's like, it was exciting. I don't even know other words to kind of express it.
It is on its way back. I wish you could have seen it. I'm sure you've heard stories of late to mid 90s when it was South and Central. They were the best two teams in the state every year. You could not get a standing spot around that track at Salina Stadium. It was just crazy. Marvin Diener on one side with the Central Mustangs, Ken Stonebreaker on the other side with the Salina South Cougars. Ask somebody about that sometime, and they'll tell you a lot about it. It was the history between those two teams is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I definitely heard the stories.
Yeah,
I definitely heard the stories. I mean, they talk about it kind of all the time. We have one of the coaches who were actually playing at Central around the 2000s, Tony Chesney.
Yeah,
and he was telling me some of the stories about what they used to go through back then. So, I mean, I hear it. I love it. I'm glad that the city and the state got the chance to experience that and watch it all, the championships come through Salina. So.
Well, we're glad you're a part of it now. Now let's parlay your coaching experience into you're a guy that gets called on in the classroom now. You're teaching as a substitute teacher, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
How's that going?
Man, it's different.
Yeah?
It's different. I was a pair at first, and just kind of being the back end in the classroom. I was experiencing it. I was loving it. But to get called upon to go and be a sub, it was just a different experience, man. I felt like it was kind of my chance to actually see, am I ready to teach students, you know what I mean? Am I ready to sit here and really be an educator? And I learn every day. I learn from the students as much as I try to teach them. And I love it. Like, I look forward to going to work every day.
You know, the old stigma is when the substitute comes in, the kids are going to be a little rowdy, right? They're gonna kind of test you a little bit, see what you're about. Have you had any of those experiences? And how do you communicate with them when things like that may be a test?
Oh man, so like when I walk in the classroom, man, it's a different story. You know, I'm not the typical sub. I actually have a permanent classroom in there. So my first day my first week was just getting to know the students.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what they like, what they want, what are they striving for, what motivates them. And then I try to feed off that energy, and I just create simple common sense in the classroom, you know. Yeah. When I say good morning, let's just speak back. It's just simple as that. And if I take every little inch they give me until I get a mile, so.
Kids at the end of the day, they love discipline and they love communication, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
When you get those coaching, teaching, whatever you're doing, it's kind of that way through. Well, they're so fortunate to have you. I'm glad you're having that experience. Let's look ahead what's coming up in the season. There's about halfway through here. We have 2 home games still coming up before we go back on the road. Crowd at Tony's Pizza Event Center has been pretty good, hasn't it?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Please keep coming out. Like, the energy in there, the noise, we love it. Like, please keep coming. Like, if you guys need a couple extra tickets, I only get 2 now. I only get 2. But I got you.
There you go.
Me.
And it's always the thing. If you're coming to games, man, bring your neighbors, bring your friends.
Man.
The weather is going to be really bad on Saturday, so it'll be a great day for indoor football.
For sure.
How's
for
that?
Sure. I mean, that's the best part about it, right? You don't have to worry about the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, getting there is a little but we're in Salina here, you know. So, hey, listen, come on through. We'll take care of you. Let's pack the stadium.
Based on our conversation with Coach O'Neill and how many injuries that have happened to this team, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces. There are going to be some new faces coming in. How do you approach that as one of the team leaders? Coach O, it makes no bones about it. You are one of the team leaders. How do you approach that when a new guy comes in? Are you one of the first guys to greet him? Does it matter if he's on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball? What's your role there?
I'm definitely trying to meet them. I definitely want to introduce myself when they first come in and let them know who I am. Teaching kind of has me away a little bit, so I definitely try to show my face enough. But I really trust Coach O's judgment. Like, when he bring these players in, he's not bringing no low-caliber players in to just be a Band-Aid on a patch, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to fix it. So when he's bringing these guys in, I trust their judgment. Hopefully we get out there and they show what he's seen, you know. And once I see that, we're all good. I mean, let's go. Let's get it. I'm just here to play football, you know what I mean? So as far as it goes, it's just let's let's do whatever we got to do to win.
I have to ask you about this before I let you go. It's the R word, and it's retirement from football. Oh. I know it's been in your head over the last couple of years. You've stuck with it. You got a championship last year. What does that process look like for Kelvin McCoy as he goes through and you kind of evaluate this in the offseason? Is it I'm not playing, but then when the time comes, I can't give it up, or how do you do that?
In the past, it's been like that. I felt like I wanted to be done. And then every time it comes around to the season, I'll be like, nah, man, I got one more in me.
Yeah.
Winning the championship was one of the best experiences of my life. Can never take away from that, man. But honestly, I don't think I'm done after this year. I like the coaching style. I like the coaching side of football. I like learning more. I want to enhance myself a little bit more on the coaching side. I want to see how far I can go. And hopefully, man, if I pay attention enough, I can come take Coach O's job later.
It sounds like there's a line for me there behind Coach O, isn't there?
Oh, yeah,
Have
man.
you? We got Detroit. We got there's
yeah.
some guys that I think this team's in good hands if you guys decide to stick in Salina, right?
Yeah, man. We just love the game, man.
Yeah.
I love learning the game. I talk to Coach O and Coach Martinez all the time, and Coach Spiller try to learn as much as I can, offensive side, defensive side. And that is starting to excite me, man, like to teach other guys and see the production of what you can create, you know what I mean? I love it. I love doing it myself as well, but to see me being able to do it in others, not only on the field but off the field in the classroom, like that's became my new high in a sense, you know?
Yeah, love it. I love having you around. You know I'm one of your biggest fans. I don't ever have to call a bad snap from Kelvin McCoy. It's like good officiating, right? A good center never gets mentioned.
Oh, yeah, man. Can't have that happen. That's a no-no.
But I still mention you, the southpaw center from the Salina
sure.
Liberty on extra points, field goals, and in offense. He is Kelvin McCoy. If you see him, snag him, say hi. It'll be the best conversation you've had probably all week. Kelvin, thank you, sir. I got to get Dan in here. We're going to talk about some things coming up for the next home game.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Back with more Coach O Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. Back after this.
Become abnormal chronic pain. Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
All right, here we go. Steve Z's Cars on the west side of Abilene. Yeah, Abilene Car Sales is the place that will save you lots of money.
Warmer weather is here at Abilene Car Sales. Lots of sunshine means it's time to spring into the fun. Abilene Car Sales is ready to help you find that perfect vehicle for summer fun. Add a reliable truck to pull that camper or boat. Perhaps upgrade your current ride to something a little more fuel-friendly. Stop by and save on Northwest 3rd or see our inventory, AbileneCarSales.com, and spring into fun.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Duralast roofing. Now Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
7.7 seconds left. Second down and 10. 3 receivers on the left-hand side. Eilers back to pass. Going over the middle of the field. Has Demarius Washington. And he's in. D-Wash had to fight off a defensive back while getting the ball and then taking it over the goal line. And he was able to do that. And D-Wash again continues the streak of scoring touchdowns for this Liberty offense. And a pretty good throw there by Nick Eilers.
And now back to the Coach O Show at AJ's in the Alley. Here's Devin Haney.
Welcome back to AJ's in the Alley. We're in the home stretch here of the Coach Ron O'Neill Show, talking Liberty football. Dan Mendocino joining us now, part of the ownership group. And, boy, Dan, a lot of things going on. I knew it was going to be a busy time for you guys behind the scenes with 4 straight home games. We're halfway through that stretch now. Southwest Kansas from Dodge City coming in. Is there a trophy in the works of this game? Is there one that I don't know about? You know, it should be the 2 in-state Kansas teams. You should have something that we battle for, right?
Yeah, I think we had a tumbleweed trophy at one time.
Yeah.
But no, in Southwest Kansas, they're playing pretty good football right now. You know, they had a nice win last week. But no, it's great to have these teams in the state of Kansas, and there's a lot of parity this year. So there's a lot of really good teams, not only in the state of Kansas but in the CIF. Yeah.
A lot of entertainment last week at the game. You had Shannon Stars come in. They did their dance routines. They were on the field before the game. You also collected non-perishable food items for the Kansas or Salina Emergency Food Bank, which I know that's a big need here in Salina.
Yeah.
We have a lot of exciting activities coming up, though, this Saturday, too. Fill us in on some of those.
Yeah, so, last week was big, like you said. Tamara House, School of Dance, Shannon Stars. We had, the young lady, Miss Kansas Teen, Braylon Whitaker, that was collecting food for the food bank, which is a fantastic cause. This week, I think there's even more activities.
Yeah.
We got the Kansas Wesleyan Choir singing at halftime. We have, we have the Dance Revolution at halftime as well, which is Dan Keebor's and Jen Main's daughter. That is part of the ownership group, that she runs a really nice dance studio downtown as well. And we have the Coronado and several elementary schools that are going to be singing patriotic songs. So it's great to see all those kids on the field, because that's really what it's all about.
It really is, and I know you guys are busy with all of that. And it's nice, though, to have this little stretch here where we're not tearing down the field, setting up the field. It allows the team to get in and have a practice where they're going to play, and it takes a lot of stress off you guys, too, because you got a lot of banners to hang with all those sponsors.
We feel really good when we look at that arena all set up for the pregame. Our sponsorship and the support by the Salina community is unbelievable. Not only the businesses, but our fans. And it's great to have that field laid down and where we can practice. But, at the end of the day, our fan base, we had a great crowd last week.
Yeah.
We're going to be blessed again. It's going to get cold again this weekend, so you're not going to be able to go to the lake. You're not going to be able to do things outside of the barbecue. You need to get to the Salina Liberty football game at Tony's Pizza Event Center. It's going to be a great game and a great crowd.
Weather's going to be real bad.
Perfect.
The great thing I love about it is the parking lot between Tony's Pizza Event Center and Kenwood Cove opens up. There's always some tailgating on there. It's kind of the right amount. You come in for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, then make your way to your seat for pregame festivities that start around 6:10. It just seems like it's always the right amount of time for that to happen. Of course, tailgating always welcome at Tony's Pizza Event Center.
Yeah.
So they're great hosts when it comes to that. And then you get to go inside and watch some really good Liberty football. And this should be a great game on Saturday.
This is going to be a good game. Southwest Kansas has gotten better every week, and they took care of business against Topeka last week, and Topeka's not a slouch team by far. So again, like I said, a lot of parity in the league this year. Every game, you better be ready to strap it up and play.
Absolutely. Want to remind people you can get tickets at Tony'sPizzaEventCenter.com or walk up during regular business hours, get them and avoid some of those online fees. Adult tickets start at $12, kids tickets at $7. Also, the box office will open plenty early for you. If you're coming in early to tailgate, the box office opens on game day at 3 o'clock. Doors open at 5:30. Dan, I'll let you close it out in the Liberty way.
You know, like I said, this is we've had a really good run so far. We're 4-2. We're actually in a good position. I mean,
absolutely.
We have a lot of other teams that Omaha's undefeated, and other teams, with one loss. But I'm telling you right now, before this thing all shakes out, we're going to be right in the mix. So come out and see us. Tony Pizza Event Center, great arena. This is going to be a good game this weekend, Devin.
And as always,
go Liberty.
Coach Ron O'Neill Show, one more episode here down at AJ's in the Alley. Come join us next week, why don't you? We got a lot of great things to give away. Like I said, that's $100. We got 4 of them. That does it for this Monday. We'll see you at Tony's Pizza Event Center coming up this Saturday as the Liberty take on the Southwest Kansas Storm.